boys and girls, I get to share a story with you again today. I'm glad I get to do that. Last week in Sunday school, we had a story about when Jesus died, how he was put on the cross and he died, but he did it willingly because he loved us and he knew that he had to do that in order to pay for our sin. And I told you last week, or your parents told you, that it wasn't the end of the story. So today we get to do the end of the story. And I'm going to use the pictures from this book, The Story of the Empty Tomb. The book was written by Brian Davis, but I'm not going to use Mr. Davis's words. I'm just going to tell it to you in my words. I am going to use Mr. Ebert's pictures. Mr. Lynn Ebert drew the pictures. So I want to read to you the story of the empty tomb. Remember, after Jesus died on the cross, his friends asked if they could have his body, and they put his body in a cave, which is sort of the way they buried people. They didn't bury people under the ground, sort of like we do. They put them in tombs that were sort of like caves. And they rolled a great big rock in front of the door so that no animals, nothing would get inside. No one could take Jesus's body. And so then, after a while, a lady named Mary said, well, we were in such a hurry because it was getting late that night that Jesus died. And so we had to put him in the tomb quickly, and we didn't have time to wash his body or get it all ready for a funeral. So she took some towels and she took some spices and she said, I'm going to go to the tomb and take care of his body and get it ready for burial. But when she got to the tomb, she discovered that his body wasn't there anymore. And she saw the clothes that had been wrapped around him lying all folded. And the face cloth that had been wrapped around his head was all folded. And she thought, oh no, somebody got in and stole his body. So she thought, I've got to go tell the rest of the disciples. So she ran back and she found Peter and John, who were some of Jesus's good friends. And she said, Peter and John, they've stolen the body. It's gone. It's not in the tomb. It's nowhere. And so Peter and John left running to go see for themselves. They might have thought, oh, Mary isn't really sure about what she saw. They might have thought it wasn't true, but it was. And so they went running to the grave to see for themselves. When they got there, John got there a little bit first, and he stood at the door and looked inside, and he saw it was true. Everything, Jesus' body was gone, and the cloths that had been wrapped around him were laying there. When Peter got there, he just rushed right on in. And he said, look, John, it's true. His body's gone. He's not here. We've got to go tell everybody else. So Peter and John went running to tell everybody else. But Mary stayed for a while, and she looked inside the tomb, and she saw two men that sort of glowed white sitting where Jesus' body had been laying. And they said, we know. Are you looking for Jesus? He's not here. He's risen, just like he said he would. And Mary could hardly believe it. And she was crying, and she was upset, and she didn't know what to believe. She was shocked. And she sort of looked over, and she saw a man standing close to her. And she thought, oh, that's the gardener that takes care of this garden where the tomb is. And so she turned to the gardener and she said, I'm so upset. Somebody's taken Jesus' body. Do you know where it is? Do you know who took it? Do you know what happened to him? And the man said, Mary. And Mary said, I recognize that voice. I know who that is. That's Jesus' voice. Jesus said my name. Jesus just said Mary. And she turned around and looked at him and she said, it is you, Lord. You are not dead anymore. You are risen. I'm so excited. I'm so glad to see you. And Jesus said, Mary, I need you to go tell all my friends what you've seen. And so Mary ran off to tell the friends. And when she told all the disciples, they were a little bit frightened because they thought, oh, what if somebody thinks we stole his body? Uh-oh, we're going to get in trouble. The soldiers are going to be mad at us. The Pilate is going to be mad at us. We may be put in jail. Oh, what are we going to do? So they said, we're staying inside and locking the door and all the windows. So they did. They stayed inside. But then, all of a sudden, the doors were locked. The windows were locked. But all of a sudden, Jesus was standing right in the middle of the room, right with them. He was risen. He was alive. He wasn't in the tomb anymore. And the disciples were so excited to see him. And he showed them his hands where the nails had been through. And he said, it's me. It's really me. I did it for you. But my Father is stronger than death. He accepted my sacrifice. He said, yes, you died. So all the people out there don't have to die. They can live forever with me in heaven. And Jesus said to the disciples, isn't that good news? And they said, yes, you better believe that's good news. It is. And Jesus said, okay, that's your job now. Your job is to go tell everybody else that good news, that I died for them, but I didn't stay dead because my Father is stronger than death. And he accepted the sacrifice. And now all of you can be his friends and live with him in heaven. So isn't that a nice, happy part of the story? It is. And you know, that's our job too. Our job too is to tell all those people out there that story about how Jesus died and rose again because he loves them and he loves you and he loves you and he loves you and he loves mom and dad, all of us. So I'm glad to tell you that story today. And even though you've heard it a few times, it's always a good story to know how Jesus loves us. I love you. Take care. Hope you're having some good times this summer, and I hope I get to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.